Now, in Christianity, what does it say about him? Well-known figure amongst Christians, and since the Bibles used to be written in Latin and English versions, his name translates in scapegoat or wasteland. They acknowledge Azazel as Satan's right-hand man. So I was right in the previous video when I said that he must have been Enki's friend, the Archangel Samael, depending on what cultural reference we have. Always the same person, different names, one and the same being. Christianity says that there's a special kind of torment that awaits him, Day of Judgment. I personally don't believe in the Day of Judgment, so let's move on. In Islam, they take the story of Azazel even farther back, to the days when he ranked amongst the good angels. And some scholars have even said that he was amongst the most wise and revered angels. He was a noble warrior that fought against the jinn. And the jinn are entities that lived on earth before humans. Then others believe that he was a jinn, but he wasn't. He was one of the Anunnaki, the fallen angels. Okay, so the story about him being a jinn goes like this. That he was a jinn, and that as a reward for fighting against other jinn, he was allowed to enter in heaven. And then he was called an angel. So, maybe in the Sumerian scriptures I can find something more about that. And maybe it could mean being of one race and then being accepted as another, like on Nibiru, that they had the interracial populations. The story goes that unfortunately his position of honor made him very arrogant, and when God created man, he refused to bow down for the new creation, and for this reason was cast down to earth to become a plague on men. Today, Azazel is not very well known. He's only mentioned in the Bible twice. And very few people read Jewish and Christian and Sumerian and Assyrian text. I do. And those are the only scriptures that provide more information on him. But Azazel has inspired great fictional work. Example, he appears as the villain in X-Men. He is in X-Men Fallen and Sandman. Both characters inspired by Azazel. Now, I said in a previous video where I think that all Marvel superhero characters were inspired by ancient gods and mythology. This is a classic example.